Blinds and drapes open themselves in the morning, close in the evening. Oh, so it looks like somebody's home even when you're not. Exactly.
So we're working on getting the...
Sally saved a bunch of money. Yeah, but you'll take the credit. Yeah.
The Powerade phone stand.
Budget Blinds motorized window coverings are the ultimate in luxury, and during the Luxury Within Reach event, they're even more affordable. The more you buy, the more you save, with savings up to $2,000.
So I'm going to start the show in just a couple minutes.
5 Budget Blinds now before this offer ends, or go online to budgetblinds.com. Don't miss out. Call
Waiting on...
Blinds now. Offer good on select products of participating independently owned and operated franchises.
There we go. Look at that, look at that, look at that.
All
right.
Legos.
We're doing the news. Well, it's good to see that Legos beat that flick movie.
I saved the city again today. The Lego Batman movie is the #1 movie in the country, debuting to an estimated 55.6 million bucks.
So that's good. And we'll be yelling in the can in just a moment. Telephone number here is 803-799-8255.
In second, I had no idea what this was going to become. 50 Shades Darker did a little better than expected. 46.8.
Look at this. Wearing that. Okay. We'll do that, and we need to make sure that we have Point of Pets headphones.
Obituary. Milwaukee native Al Jarreau has died at the age of 76. No cause of death listed on the statement on his website. The Grammy winner had been hospitalized the past few days for exhaustion.
Al Jarreau was one of the few vocalists to win Grammy Awards in 3 different categories: jazz, pop, and R&B.
All right.
The former social worker achieved critical acclaim for his 1975 album, We Got By, but scored his first pop hit in 1981 with We're in This Love Together. Jarreau's music reached an even wider audience with the theme song to the hit show Moonlighting. Jarreau's dulcet tones can be heard on the charity hit We Are the World. Jarreau won 7 Grammys and in 2001 received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. David Blaustein, ABC News.
This is ABC News.
So, Jacqueline.
Yes, Mom?
I wanted to talk to you about something, and... Oh, wait. Hold on. I just got a text.
Oh, wait, Mom. I just got a message. So many comments on my comment.
Hey, guys, check out my new video game.
Mom, what?
Huh?
What'd you say?
This weekend, unplug. Getting closer to nature can get you closer to your family. To find the forest nearest you, go to discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
All right, so show starting in just a couple moments.
Columbia's local.
This is us. Moments.
Experience. The Point.
Now at 100.7.
Here we go with the loud stuff. Not actually filling in for anybody today. That'll be tomorrow. So you'll be able to listen to the afternoon drive from 2 to 6, or 4 to 6. 4 to 6. Now that would be intense. 2 to 6. 4 to 6 tomorrow. I'll be filling in for Kevin Cohen on WQXL's afternoon drive. And you can catch us all during the week at americasradioshow.com. You can listen to us here on the Powerhouse 100.7 FM WQXL and you can catch us also. I'm not good at this left-handed mouse thing. I'm going to get some Al Jarreau going on in the background if it's... Oh, I'm going to jump to the... Oh my goodness, it's an interview! There we go. But what a great week it's been for Trump world, with a couple of little tiny problems. But it's we got problems, of course, here in our fine state, and it looks like our Republican, in name only, legislature is going for a gas tax from 17 cents to 27 cents. I pop that up on the calculator. If you can give me a call, 803-799-8255. Work the math on me and tell me what percentage increase that is. But it looks like we're going to get that and a whole bunch of problems. I'm really sad to see Al Jarreau go. I remember one of my Al Jarreau's greatest hits was one of my first 20 CDs when the CD was new. And what a great driving CD that was. So that with so much stuff in our popular culture, it's almost amazing that we allow it to be stored digitally. And if you listen to, sometimes I will stumble upon popular music, or I will be confronted by what is playing in somebody else's car. It's just not good. It's not good. I don't know if it's some sort of like a Marxist conspiracy. I'll go throw it over to the Marxists as the problem there. But today's modern music is very much like looking at a Soviet era concrete apartment block. For me, it's the equivalent. It's the same type of thing. It's monotonous with the hooks. It's almost as if the American people can no longer pay attention to a song enough that it's got to have all these hooks and extraneous sounds and all this stuff. And I think it's all written by 4 or 5. Now here, let's throw it back to our friend a Change. This is Postmodern Jukebox and their version of Careless Whisper with Dave Koz. We'll wait till Dave Koz pops in for a second, and then we'll go out. The Dave Koz flourish is longer in here than I remembered. Here it comes. So even songs written in the 80s that can be remade in a different style are much more interesting than the stuff that's mass market available today. And I don't know why that is. Is it just so easy to do? I know there are only like 4 writers or 10 producers of modern music right now. So if you look at everything that's played on your top 40 station, that it's 4 or 5 people have written most of it. What's going on there? And is that the kind of country we want to have? I have had the experience of voluntarily going and being excited to go to Nashville for a conference at Vanderbilt. And at one point we were walking around the bar district, and literally, or actually, not even literally, actually, on every street corner that had a musical performer, that person, he or she, was much better than anybody you've ever heard on the radio. They just hadn't gotten their shot yet. So that's a surprise, but the quality of modern music is through the floor. Now, I don't know if there's a difference between, I'm just talking top 40-ish type stuff. So I don't know if country music is any better. I don't know if I would reason to guess that jazzy type stuff, jazz music would be better, that they would have escaped the funnel of crap that's being pushed to us. I really, the drop-off in music, music should be so wonderful, and it should be so positive and transcendent, and to see that what is popular music in America right now just isn't good. It's just not good. So, and I don't want to seem like I'm one of these old crotchety people that, 1989, when I graduated, anybody wrote any good stuff. Some people. So we might stream here. Let's see what it says. Well, anyway, on the internet, no matter what, at makethepointradio.com, if the Book of Faces, the Facebook Live, maybe it's because I'm complaining about music that it's going all goofy. But so popular music to me is not good. And there are good things out there. I think the stuff that people are able to create visually is amazing. And I was talking to a friend of mine who, she's not a shut-in or anything like that. She's has discovered the wonders of Amazon Prime. And she was watching the most recent movie, Spectre, the James Bond movie with Daniel Craig in it as James Bond. And she said it was almost too noisy. And then she's watching it on the small screen on a computer. And, going to see movies now, they're almost too exciting. There's almost too much visual information being pushed on you. And I remember the first time I experienced this was the last Star Trek movie. So the Chris Pine Star Trek. That my wife and I saw that in the theater. And I came out of the theater going, this is the most visually exciting movie that I've ever seen. And evidently, there's so many scenes per minute. There's so much CGI in all these new films that it actually challenges you to what you can understand. So that was sort of a weird and strange thing for me. And but besides the popular culture stuff, nope, we're going to take a quick break. Be back. Your calls, if you want to, 803-799-8255. That's 799-TALK.
Hear 100.7 24/7 at MakeThePointRadio.com. Courtesy of the
So more of this.
Medic, bringing grout and tile back to life. Columbia's local talk radio experience. The Point.
Now at 100.7 FM and 1470 AM.
This is the song that I think that President Trump ought to change from Hail to the Chief. He should get some flogging Molly Irish fighting music as his theme. And that's what it is for him. It's going to be a fight. And so we're only 3 weeks into this presidency, and he's done a lot. And the realization that the United States has a backward, incompetent, worthless immigration policy. I mean, it's just the truth. And without assigning relative values to the first world versus the third world and sometimes the fourth world, it's a lot easier and a lot more valuable to this nation state, which is the United States of America, to import people who are the tops in their countries, and especially the tops in Western countries. So I would like, we'll have a couple of policy recommendations, and you see if you agree with this, that we ought to have an IQ 140 special visa. And that means that if your IQ is demonstrated to be 140, you ought to be on a rocket path to American citizenship. You know, this idea that we need a whole bunch more people that are illiterate in their own home languages to come to America for the American dream, that doesn't help us. And, it sounds horrible, and it is horrible to say, but when you don't bring much to the table, you don't bring much to the table. And if you're trying to invest in America, if you're trying to make things better, you're going to pick whether you want to be more like third or fourth world country, or you want to be a first world country. And I think we have to address this, that liberalism in itself and how things work is that it's largely an infection. Nobody goes to Mexico and demands $15 an hour. Nobody goes to any of these poor places and say we need to institute these reforms. It's all about whether it's a feudal state, whether it's a monarchy, whether it's a representative democracy. It's all about taking successful things that already exist, sort of like the third generation inheriting a worthwhile business enterprise and driving it into the ground. And that's what liberalism does to all the countries it infects. So you can take great countries like Finland and Norway and Sweden, places that you would think, well, you know, they have their socialist democracies. They've got, Norway anyway, has billions of dollars of oil bubbling out of the North Sea. And if you look at their top 10 or top 100, if you look at their crime statistics, they're all Asians. And when I say Asian, I don't mean like that you would, I mean as British people would talk about Asian. So all of Europe is just a handful of fingers hanging off of Asia, and people from India to the further east, they're all considered Asian folks. So if you're from any of the stands, from Tajikistan, Kurdistan, all those places, you fall into that category. So all the violence and mayhem in some of these places has to be imported. And that's not where we want to be as Americans. And that's not where we should be voluntarily. So I want to be the brain drain country. So if you've got a STEM degree, if you've got a PhD in a STEM field, if you're the top 1% of your country, if you're IQ 140, welcome to America. Let's build some stuff. If you're somebody that's illiterate in your home country's language, if you're somebody that's going to be almost impossible to bring under the wing, which is American exceptionalism, then maybe not so much. Maybe there's other places for you. And I feel for refugees, and I feel that we need to have the China shop policy in many ways with our foreign policy, and that is, if you break it, you sort of bought it. And the problem is, not for just President Obama's term, but the 8 years before that, and the 8 years before that, and the 4 years before that, we've been breaking a lot of stuff. We've been ruining a lot of stuff. We've been making a mess of a lot of other places. So should we help refugees around the world? The answer is yes. And that means maybe we should write checks. But if you are a refugee from a place and we hope to turn it around, we want you close enough that you can go back. It doesn't make any sense to move you from a place that's having a governmental-driven problem and the government is changing, to fling you 130 countries around the world to the sunny shores of Horry County or Charleston County, or deep to the interior here, Richland County, or God's country, Pickens County. That doesn't make any sense. But we'll take a call. Hey, caller, how are you?
Hello.
Hello.
Hey, how are you doing this afternoon?
I'm doing good. I'm doing great.
I've got a rant
with
our SCDOT.
Okay, well, that's a good place to have a rant because they got lots of problems, and they use lots of money.
Last October, I hit a pothole.
Mm-hmm.
And I drive a Mercedes, and it blew my tire out, cracked my rim, wound up costing me like $800. It's a Mercedes.
Uh-huh.
So the state has a reimbursement program.
So how bad is it that we have to confess, that we have to admit, that we have to celebrate, that we have to have a program to deal with the damage that our roadways cause to our citizens' cars?
So I filled it out in October. About a month later, they sent me a notice back that I didn't cross the I's and dot the T's, so I redid it again.
Uh-huh.
And I just got my letter back from them last week. And the results were they refused to pay for it because they did not know about the pothole. They did not have enough time to repair the pothole because they didn't know about it. So therefore, they are not responsible for anything that occurred with that pothole.
So how do you check on that? Do you have to do a freedom of information? No, I'm serious. How do you? They've made a claim.
They went back and fixed it.
Right,
they
because
went back and fixed the pothole, so that admits their guilt to me.
Well, you would think that they would know, but that gives them an ultimate out. Well, we didn't know about it.
Yes.
So I think you have to get into their
adequate time to fix it. So therefore, they're not responsible for it.
Well, I think you need to get into their, you need to FOI them to death, and you need to find out their process, and then you need to FOI all instances relating to within 150 yards of 34.00283 whatever degrees by whatever the other component is, the GPS thing, and see what they come back to you. And
I guess we got to notify them before we hit a pothole. That way they'll be responsible for it.
Well, how do you know? How would you know as a citizen that a pothole had been called in or not?
Right. Exactly. Yep, you're right.
Do you got to start spray painting them? Oh yeah, this one's orange. I called it in myself. This one's green. Bobby called that one in.
Yeah, I just thought that was.
That'll drive you crazy. And again, it's shameful that we even have to have a pothole reporting a road hazard problem. That we have to have a program to do that, to deal with that problem. And the deal is the money is there. The money's been spent elsewhere. We need to say 80-20. DOT budget next year, 80% repairs, 20% new stuff. And we need to do 80-20 until it's done.
I just thought I'd share that with you all, and,
I appreciate the call.
I knew there wasn't going to pay for it. I knew that.
Well, they're paying for somebody's.
Well,
they're paying for somebody.
Yeah.
So
all right, y'all have a good evening.
All right, thanks.
Enjoy the show, man.
All right, thanks. But yeah, so that's another maddening problem where government gets involved. So we have these things in government where there are existing problems, there's persistent problems, but our inattention costs more money. So by not doing our job, it costs us more money to do our job, so there's less money to do our job. And I worked in state government, and we had the same type of thing. We had a filing thing. We did all the incorporations, all the UCC filings, all the charities, and all the security stuff for the state of South Carolina in the Department of State, in the Secretary of State's office. And that's what I was part of. And we had things rocking and rolling, and we got a little bit behind at one point. And then people started calling about being behind, or where's my this? And so that generates work, and then if that happens again, it generates more work. So what happened was, by the slowdown, by having a problem, it made things much worse. And that's the instance here with the pothole thing. By not fixing the pothole, you've injured people, damaged their cars, and you have to deal with that instead of just fixing the pothole. So that's what I want in South Carolina, and I'll float it. If I had the governor's ear, I would have already done it. But I want you to think about 80-20. An 80-20 budget priority. All the money that goes into the Department of Transportation, 80-20. 80% repair, 20% new stuff. And I recognize that you're going to have to do new stuff, but I used to have it in my head that you should do for 1 year only repair, but that's unreasonable. Oh, that's funny. That's unreasonable that there would be no growth. So 80-20. 80% of the money that comes into the DOT should be for repair and 20% for new projects, until all the roads are of a standard thing. And maybe in the South Carolina legislature, maybe we need to say, all right, well, we're going to figure out about what we need, and we're going to put the whole thing out for a competitive bid. Yep, that's right. We're going to say we got 45,000 miles of South Carolina roadways with a grade of X and problems associated with 245 miles of injury. And we're going to go for a bid. We're going to get Bechtel or Carlisle Group or one of these people to come and help us with this problem. We're going to get a bid on it. Give us something that we can work with. But this idea that without a change in transparency, without a change in the way that we do business, that throwing more tax money, not doubling, but increasing by more than a third, the money's available to the Department of Transportation is foolhardy. It's not smart. There are smart ways to do things, and there are stupid ways to do things, and frequently our friends at Main and Gervais like to do them in the stupid way or the way that suits them better. And that's unfortunate. So I hope that somebody like Tom Davis, I hope that somebody else joins in and stops this gas tax. Because we know what it is. It's just more money, no solutions. And again, I think there are creative ways to do things, and there's smart ways to do things, and that's not the way that we're doing there. So I'm really afraid that, people that, like friends of mine, that'll say, well, we need a consumption tax, or we need this. Well, as long as you still have the income tax, it's just going to get things worse. So I would only support one of these alternative taxes if you passed a constitutional amendment to eliminate one of the others. Because if you don't, then you're going to end up with both. And that really is a problem. So we know that the Leviathan can't run roads. An ancient technology. The Romans, there's still Roman roads that are used today. So the Leviathan can't run roads, but we expect them to run child welfare agencies, which is infinitely more complex and dangerous. All right, we're going to take a quick break, and I mean quick. We might do some news, but we'll be back in just a moment.
WQXL Columbia, W237BN Columbia.
From the Ace Glass Studio. Need glass? Call.
All right, so
The Point at
Basha, that's funny.
Eating better every day can help make you and your kids healthier. Search We Can online to find out more. A message from the Ad Council, HHS, and NIH's We Can program.
Deportation. President Trump weighing in.
The president on Twitter writing, the crackdown on illegal criminals is merely the keeping of my campaign promise. Gang members, drug dealers, and others are being removed. But ICE agents also swept up and are moving to deport people who had no criminal records. ICE tweeting, ICE targets convicted criminals and others who are illegally present in the United States.
ABC's Ron Claiborne. Thousands of flights nationwide have been canceled preemptively as another major winter storm prepares to lash the northeast U.S. Boston has canceled school tomorrow. 2 feet of snow and blizzard conditions possible in Maine. No sign of the crew of 6 of the MV Destination, a 98-foot fishing vessel missing in the Bering Sea for more than a day. The Coast Guard in Alaska says some debris has been found, including the ship's electronic locating device, buoys, and life rings. Richard Cantu, ABC News.
120 feet of rope that takes you from a hovering chopper to the ground below in 7.5 seconds. The Army National Guard is your team. You face the tough challenges together and succeed because your team is there to push you towards your goal. Join our team on the web at 1-800-GO-GUARD.com or call 1-800-GO-GUARD. In the Army National Guard, you can!
Sponsored by the South Carolina National Guard, aired by the South Carolina Broadcasters Association and this station.
Looking to link and connect with local businesses, nonprofit organizations, community events, and development? This is Lori Carnes, and join me on my new show, Link to It, on The Point, 100.7 FM and 1470 AM, Tuesday mornings at 9 a.m.
All right, so this is Morgan James singing with Postmodern Jukebox.
I'm changing all of the stations. I like to think that we had.
So we're going to wait for the hook, and then we're going to jump out.
We drew a map to a better place. But on that road we had a fall. Oh, baby, why did you go?
Might have to put my America's Radio Show banner in the background. What do you think?
I was there for you in your darkest nights. But I wonder, where were you when I was at my worst, down on my knees? And you said you had my back, and I wonder, where were you when all the roads you took led back to me? Now I'm following a map that leads to you. That map that leads.
All right, so you can take a modern song and you can cut it up and restylize it and make it a lot better than its first incantation. Is that right? I have to think about that. But Postmodern Jukebox is out there, and they've been to Columbia. Angela and I saw them at a theater at Appalachian State University. That was well worth the trek up there. 20 degrees temperature difference made it even better. Here, one more time with the hook.
I was there for you in your darkest nights, but I wonder, where were you when I was at my worst, down on my knees, and you said you had my back, and I wonder, where were you?
All right, so the callers are preempting the music part of the show. Hey, caller, how are you?
I'm doing fine, Jim.
Hey, it's David, our buddy David, one of our many friends.
I managed to get another Sunday off from my new job.
No, okay, like magic.
Mm-hmm. Yep. I hope it keeps working out this way. I'd like to change the conversation,
Okay.
if you don't mind.
We're ready to go.
I would like to pick on your buddy Tim Scott,
Okay, why are you going to pick on Tim Scott?
because he ain't nothing but a big crybaby.
Okay, what's he crying about?
He's crying about the names people are calling him and the things that people are saying to him on Facebook and Twitter.
Well, I think wait. I think it's important that other people know how our friends on the left, ostensibly guessing how our friends on the left respond to the only black senator in the Senate from South Carolina. I think it's important that people know that he gets hammered with hate mail and all these horrible things, and it's not the Klan. It's the Klan with the tan. It's our liberal folks that are going after an honorable, demonstrably honorable guy.
Did you say the monster?
Demonstrably honorable guy.
Yeah, right. Honorable to who? He's shown nothing but dishonor in the action that he took by voting for Jeff Sessions. There's nothing but dishonor.
Right. So what's wrong with Alabama Senator, now Attorney General Jeff Sessions?
Well, there's a track record of his historic feelings, attitude.
Like when he got a Klan member, a Klan director, the death penalty when he did that.
Hey, I'm not talking about exceptions, Dean. You know.
Well, that's all I know. That's all I know. I want to hear the litany. I want to hear the litany. I want to hear the litany of racially motivated Jeff Sessions crimes against humanity.
Well, just maybe if what's his name, Mitch McConnell would not have shut Senator Elizabeth Warren down, we the people would be more informed as to what the late Coretta Scott King's attitude was with regard to
when later she thanked him for his work on civil rights.
Again, we're speaking of exceptions, John.
Well, again, I think if you're going to, I think that if she was a witness in a crime, that would immediately impeach her. if you said, oh, well, many, many years ago you said this, but most recently you contradicted yourself saying this. Well, I think...
I've often had projected the attitude that I can find something good to say about my worst enemy.
Right, but I don't think that was the situation with Coretta Scott King. And when I was in Atlanta, they openly called her Coretta Scott Cha-Ching because she would do almost anything to sell the legacy of Martin Luther King. That she was involved all the time, so much so that the other relatives had lots of problems with her.
Well, I mean, that to me does not impugn her character. It's like you're going to have disagreements and jealousy and envy, and a lot of family situations are in a lot of communities. So, no.
But, you know, Jeff Sessions was not a Klansman. He's not a demonstrated racist. I mean, that's just not. I mean, that's just not the truth. And if there was anybody that you know that he harassed, anybody that had a claim, they would have made it. It just didn't happen.
Well, what about those civil rights leaders that he threatened to put in jail for like decades, like which would have been the equivalent of life?
For what? For what things would he have accused them to do that they did not do?
I do not recall to be specific, and regretfully, I'm in the process of driving. So I can't.
Yeah, I'm sort of. This is why I need a producer just to look up things to give me a better idea. But he's been a member of the U.S. Senate for a long time. So there should be something demonstrably bad that he's done, and it's not there.
And look at Ben Tillman or whatever his name. He was
Pitchfork Ben Tillman made sure that we got universities, the finest universities in our state, have Tillman halls in them. So his legacy of or his lifetime nastiness and racism and separation has been undone by the institutions that he largely founded, that he made happen.
Do you believe that?
Oh yeah, God yeah. I think if you're a black person in South Carolina and you get the chance to go to Clemson University, your life is changed. Your life is much better than it would be if you went anywhere else.
And so you're saying that Ben Tillman should be thanked?
Well, he did make that happen. He did make that happen. So again, in the not arguably a segregationist, but an actual segregationist did something good, maybe by accident.
What in particular did he make happen?
He made the university happen. And that institution lives on longer than he did.
That still does not excuse his mean spirit and evil ways.
No, he was an evil guy. He was a bad guy. He was a bad guy.
Okay, so he's not excused, and neither is Jeff Sessions.
Well, I don't think.
If you walk up on an item and it smells like a certain thing, and you walk away and you walk back and the stench is still there, then the stench is coming from that item, and you cannot dismiss the stench. So Jeff Sessions' stench has followed him through the decades, and I don't think it's because somebody's spraying stank around him. It's coming from him, and we shall soon find out because he will do a repeat performance.
He'll do exactly what Trump wants him to do. So yeah, we need to find out what are these things that he's even accused of. That that's a. So we have the allegation out in the media that he's done something bad, but there's never the follow up. There's never the backup, and the other side is so timid that they don't even. That's one. Even if you despise President Trump, you have to admire his willingness to fight back. And I think that's when he calls out the media and said, hey, you're on the other side. You're actually the enemy. That's the truth.
What he's doing with the media he is trying to cancel the First Amendment. That's what he's doing. He's running for dictator is what he's doing. He is trying to get there.
No, he does not.
The media and calling into question everything that they say.
Well, we know. Okay, so Donna Brazile got questions from her employer, CNN, and passed them to the Clinton campaign. What does
that have to do with what we're talking about?
Well, this is an example of the media being on the other side. We have pictures. There's actually, you can go to YouTube and search for it. Andrea Mitchell interviewing Secretary of State Clinton while she was running for president, being passed questions from Hillary's handler. This is not. They are dishonest. He's right.
So is that an indication that the media should be shut down?
No, that's an indication that you should call them out. And when there are opportunities to speak over them, and that was the beauty of President Reagan. He was able to use the media and the technology that existed to speak over the media. But President Trump ain't got what Ronald Reagan got. So he uses Twitter and his 50 million Twitter followers to say, in 130 characters or less, this is what I think about that. Very low, very unprofessional. This is
in for his special advisor, Kellyanne Conway, come up with this thing called alternative facts.
Well, what was that case about? That case was about the people that attended and watched the inauguration. So based on the Nielsen of the internet, it looks like more people watched President Trump being inaugurated. More screens were lit up with chubby faces watching the inauguration than in any other, more people saw it than in any other inauguration in history.
I don't believe that.
All right, hold on just a second. Be right back.
All right.
Hear 100.7 24/7 at MakeThePointRadio.com. Courtesy of the Grout Medic, bringing grout and tile back to life. Columbia's local talk radio experience. The Point.
Now at 100.7 FM and 1470 AM.
I will keep America moving forward, always forward, for a better America, for an endless, enduring dream and 1,000 points of light. This is my mission, and I will complete it. Read my lips. No new taxes. I will.
All right, so we're looking at the death of an administration, and that's what it looks like. That was the promise, agreeing to be civil, with a kinder, gentler approach with the press and the Democrats is what undid George H.W. Bush's presidency, and why someone with a 96% approval rating could not beat that redneck, misogynist, hayseed Arkansas governor, William Jefferson Blythe Clinton. So it's little things like that. And so has President Trump hit that part yet? In these 3 weeks, have we gotten something that will be the end of Trump? Has anybody telegraphed anything out of the administration? We're having some leaks, and that's sort of disturbing. But we also have our buddy David on, and he was talking, I think, starting to talk about Kellyanne Fitzgerald Conway, attorney, professional pollster, mom, I think, of four. Well, maybe that too. And mom of four, a Jersey girl. So the alternative facts. How do you...
Now, the road that you went down... I should have expected you to do that.
Okay.
The first implications were not as to how many people saw this thing via all forms of media. Is how many people were there. And Sean Spicer, whatever his name is, switched it up to encompass media.
Right.
So
because that's what his job is. That is his job. His job is to spin. So the other side says, well, not half as many people came and saw you compared to the transformational presidency of Barack Obama. Oh well, according to our research, and that's exactly what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to fight back. And
okay. So does that mean that you, Dean Garrett, should like boost him by being as dishonorable as he is?
Well, no. He said the truth. More people saw it than
that was not the initial question.
Well,
not the initial question.
Well, that's the beauty of being the spokesman head of the White House, is that you get to change the question. And Kellyanne Fitzpatrick, Conway is the same way. The beauty, and it's there's a. I don't get it.
Beauty. There's nothing beautiful about that.
Oh well.
That's like David Copperfield. They're a bunch of magicians. They can change the appearance of anything they want. They can make the truth. They can make the truth into a lie, and they can make a lie into the truth.
Well, that is the job of those people.
What America needs to be dining on.
Right, that's the job of those people, though. So I remember during the Clinton administration how the media was excited at how well the Clinton administration was able to lie to them. Oh, that was smart. That was well played. We heard that over and over from the sycophantic media about how well they were being directed and lied to, and how it was being taken. Oh, these people are so smart. Look how well they lie to us.
James,
yes.
The Clinton administration was so long ago.
Right, but that's the last time. The Obama administration is not as good at being dishonest and lying as the Clinton administration was. The Obama administration, people say it was scandalous. There are scandals there, but not to the level of the wholesale corruption of the Clintons.
Who said it was? Ain't nobody but the right is implying that there are scandals at with the Obama administration. These people on the right, the
IRS.
Fabricated.
The IRS.
That's no scandal. That's no scandal.
Yes.
Because what happened is back in the 1950s when it was clear cut as to how these people were to proceed with regard to the 50 or whatever.
501c3.
Somebody changed a couple of words that made it instead of being an objective approach to determine,
more subjective.
They made it subjective. So why didn't they just go back to the original narrative or what have you, and go from there?
Because you got to treat everybody equally.
Well,
and when you have a political hack like Lois Lerner is running the IRS, you got a problem.
Well, it was never proved that she was any kind of political hack.
No, she's a hack. They know who she donated to. She was a hack.
The Republicans took advantage of that subjective statement, and anybody, you, me, or whomever else, can now claim that the IRS is messing with us.
Okay. I would be scared to do that.
It should not be that way. It should be clear cut.
I'm always on edge talking about the IRS. I do not want to incur their wrath.
I've had to deal with them, but it should be clear cut as to how that institution should proceed. But no.
Yeah, they should only be collecting tariffs, right? That's how the country used to work.
That darn well that ain't what I'm talking about.
No, that's what I think they ought to do. I think go back to collecting tariffs only.
So they have the fix is in. So and all these scandals that were tried to apply to the Obama administration, those were fabrications from the right.
No, they weren't fabric. Well, hey, David, I've got somebody else calling. If you can hold on, we're going to try to do this here. And if you drop off, call me right back, okay? But we're going to do an experiment here. All right, and take the new caller. Hey, caller, how are you? Hey, there's my guy, Woody. How are you?
Hey, I tell you what, I don't know what Kool-Aid David has done started drinking.
No, he's a good guy who just sees things a little bit differently. And what we're all consuming, the media that we're all consuming, the personal lens that you put on it makes a big difference. No, I'm serious. It does.
Seriously, David, I know you listen to me. For the last couple of years, I thought you was getting kind of, oriented between Republican, Democrat, Independent. But tonight, you are a Kool-Aid Democrat, liberal Kool-Aid drinker for everything that he's saying.
All right, let's see if we can bring David back. So I'm going to hold you here and lock you in.
I ain't going to be able to listen to all that.
Okay.
But anyway, let David respond.
Okay, well, here, hey, David. Hey, David, are you there with us now?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So were you able to hear what,
Yes.
okay.
Yes. Okay. I may very well still be a liberal.
But that's okay. There are a lot of great liberal people. And if you were a liberal, you'd be one of those.
I'm one of them. But check this out. I'm trying to walk away from the Democrats. I don't have any place to go. So I'm still left-leaning, which I believe is right-leaning, and right as
correct. You can say you're correct.
Not right as in the conservative right, which is wrong. Now, that's the wrong right.
Okay.
And
I hear you.
I'm not trying to argue for the Democrats. I'm trying to argue for we the people. And if anybody that supports and this administration, what they're doing to us, then they are encouraging the end of America as we have hoped for it to become. Unless I've just been lied to all my life. I've been told that America is a good place.
Yeah,
America is a good thing.
We were never as good as what we thought we were.
Apparently not. And like the previous show, the Emperor has no clothes.
Mm-hmm.
I think America's butt-born naked now.
Yeah, I think we are naked. I think. Are you ready for? So, candidate Trump exposed something and changed the relationship, I think, that a lot of people of us had with politicians, and that was candidate Trump exposed. They said, well, you're friends with Bill and Hillary Clinton. They came to your wedding. And he says, of course they came to my wedding. I gave them $300,000. That was because I always thought the differential was the other way, that it was the mogul who was trying to curry favor with the politician, but it's actually the other way. So that was one thing that President Trump has taught us, that's the real relationship between money and power. And I had a really good one and it just it flew out of my mind when I was telling that one. But there was another one recently where Trump had another big reveal where he explained how it really works. And of course that ran away from me, but it'll come back, David.
It's too bad he don't know how the government works. The way he's going after these judicial decisions. It's like
it's okay though. It's okay to have
this 31-year-old wet behind the ear PUNK up there act like he knows what's going on. Talking about what a district judge can and or can't do with regard to the presidency. He needs to go somewhere and sit down. As a matter of fact, all of them need to go somewhere and sit down. I hope all of them get in the same building, in the same room. That's Kent, Trump,
and they all sit down.
What is his name? Bannon?
Yeah.
Conway. All of them in the same room at a big old sinkhole.
No. We don't want anything bad to happen to these people.
Big old sinkhole. Opens up and swallow the whole building.
Oh, that's funny.
That's what I want to happen.
No, you don't really want that to happen. You just want him to lose. You want to beat him on the field of ideas.
I don't want America to lose, and right now we're losing, and right now
I think it's the other way. I think we're winning. I think we're winning.
I heard what you said.
I know. You heard you laugh, too. I think we're winning. I think this is a win.
A win for who?
I think it'll be ultimately a win for us.
Which us are you talking about?
You and me. Oh, Trump is coming to South Carolina soon. He's coming to Boeing. So he's going to come visit the Charleston Miracle Aerospace, South Carolina, in Charleston. He's going to be there.
I hope a plane lands.
No. No. He's not orange anymore. He doesn't have time for that foolishness. He's the president.
He done dyed his face now?
No, he's done spraying. He's done spraying.
Oh, he has accomplished what he wanted.
Yeah, he's already. Oh my goodness, David, we're done. And I apologize for everything flying by so fast. We've got tomorrow 4 to 6. It'll be me filling in for Kevin Cohen on the afternoon drive here on WQXL.
The only afternoon local talk radio in Columbia is the afternoon drive with Kev. It's all about you. It's your phone calls. It's my challenging topics. All the news, traffic, and weather weekdays, 4 p.m. on The Point.
Hi, I'm Rick Osick, president of Famous Footwear. Did you know that premature birth is the #1 killer of babies? That's why we are fighting to end premature birth and birth defects, along with the March of Dimes. You can do something today to give them tomorrow. Your support means programs, education, life-saving research, and a voice for families in the newborn intensive care unit. Together we can save babies' lives. Give them tomorrow at marchofdimes.org/tomorrow.
Alvin and the Chipmunks want to remind you to keep bacteria in food from making you ill with 4 simple steps.
Needs to be a lot in the pot.
Clean, wash hands and surfaces often.
I'm waiting for the rinse.
All right, so that's it. Goodness, I forgot it was still running.
Cook. Make sure meat, poultry, and seafood.
So that's what it's like to do a show here on WQXL. Somebody's calling me. Let's see if I can pick that up.
Brought to you by the USDA, HHS,
Hello.
Ad Council. The road trip to food safety starts at
Yes. Hey, Woody.
WQXL Columbia.